Hello, y'all. It's Eddie Cheddar of the Eddie Cheddar and Once Hip Hop and Topic Show. So today I'm doing a hat cleaning tutorial along with just giving very simple hat advice. No, I will not probably show my face, but hey, I'm just here to educate y'all. I'm not here to really show out and shit. So I'm gonna start with just hat buying in general, where you should start. Now, if you don't like cleaning your hats that much and you just hate the chore of it, stick with darker colors. They tend to get dirtier the least fastest, or it's harder to see them. With this one, you can see the imperfections. This one had imperfections yesterday, but I fixed it by just using the simple cleaner, and we'll get to that in a few. And then these are the failed hats, the hats where I didn't know what I was doing and I let it rock. I think the only one where I actually am happy that it failed is this one. It was once a really bright white hat and it looked really pretty too. This was actually like a dark black, but what happened was I used to wear this at shop all the time, and then when I worked in construction and trash, and then along with leaving this thing in the back of my car where the sun magnified the heat and just melted all the color away. But I'll be honest, this hat right here, although it looks real rusty and nasty in just its average form, I actually can fuck with this because it kind of looks like a working man's hat, like it's traveled through time. And this hat's actually like 12 years old. Still working snapbacks. Some of the color is still alive, like the stitching in the blue. That didn't get scuzzy, surprisingly, along with the hardwood classic. The only thing that got bad were the undersides. The inner rim is greasy, and just, that's it. There's no point in me trying to save this hat. And the same goes for this one. It had the same life because these two were both bought at the same time. Only except this one has sweat lines. This one doesn't have sweat lines. I didn't get sweat lines on this one, so I lucked out there. But I got the sweat lines, and this is what can happen to any hat, dark or white, is when you sweat, this band here on the very bottom doesn't it literally cannot stop sweat, and it doesn't trap it either. It actually seeps through here, through the bottom, and it goes into the color base of the lower part of the brim. And so that's how, you see some of these guys wear hats where they got these dark lines right between here and here. It's because you're sweating too much, and the sweat is perspirating through the band here again, and going on to there and discoloring. This hat's also pretty much finished. I mean, it's basically a shop hat, but in a next tutorial video, I actually might show you what it looks like after a steam clean. Some of these hats in my collection over here, and here's just the wall of good hats. I have hats in my storage units too. I have 2 storage units, so this isn't even all of them. I don't think I could even get a photo of all of them at once. It'd be really, really, really hard and cumbersome. But these are all the hats that I've bought in the recent years. Some are from the past, some are from the present. I'm actually going to be going hat shopping this weekend because I'm not doing shit. But yeah, this bottom half here is going to be put to the test on steam cleaning. And since I bought a steam cleaner to clean my engine bay, I heard you can do it with hats. So we're going to experiment with that either this weekend or next weekend. It just depends on what I want to do. I do want to finish some stuff on my Land Cruiser and get her kind of where I need to be more than ever, but we shall see. But back to that. So, dark colors are for people who don't like maintenance. Light colors are for people who want to get more acclimated to maintenance. And I'll just tell you this right now. Even a guy like me who's a pure hat enthusiast, these white hats here are the bane of my existence. And they are the hardest hat to maintain and they're the hardest to make look nice. Like for instance, this Brooklyn hat got a sun stain right there. If you can kind of see the discoloring, it almost looks like dried pee on somebody's shirt or somebody's pants. And then you start to see the bright white. Now, I'm going to not only just steam clean this one, I'm also going to use this product here, and this is just if you got a stain that's just so irritating that you just say, fuck it, I want this stain gone. Then, believe it or not, I'd use this Tough and Stuff stain remover. And you know what's funny? You can get this stain remover at Advanced Auto Parts. It does come with a brush, and I'll actually show you what the brush looks like. It's this thing right here. But do not use this on your hats. It will cause some damage. It can dig in deep into the threads and mess up the threading and the stitch pattern here in your hat. There's actually a weave of cloth, little fibers and cloth, like what you see on your badges, but in tinier form on your hat, because remember the hat is made of cardboard. If you don't know, hats are made of cardboard, so this can bend, this can stretch, this can get messed up. Trust me, I know. I got a hat that just got sent in from Temu, and it didn't even look like it's in its picture, and now I have to put it on a reformation thing. I have to get one of those mannequin heads and just reform it. But back to the white hats. When they get these kind of stains, use the Tough and Stuff. And if I were you, I know most of you guys don't like buying girl products, but if you have the money, get a hat brush at Lids or something that's legitimate. Here's the one I got that used to be for my shoes. It was by Shot MGK. They went out of business, obviously. I mean, they were a little booth in the mall. I really didn't think they were going to last forever, but that was what I had for that. There's another one I have, but I don't know where the hell I placed it. I actually have to go find it. But it's the Lids one, and it's actually like this foam kind of pattern. And it actually gets the hat pretty good, and it picks up a lot of the lints and the balls that are kind of formed as you wear your hat throughout the day. And literally, it's a lot less abrasive than this, but this, I will not lie, gets the job done. It digs into the crevices without, eating at the fibers. And we'll actually get into some of the grooves in between the weaves. Another thing to look out for with white hats is that you're not really supposed to wear them more in the summertime, but rather in the wintertime. The wintertime, you're not going to sweat as much. At least I hope you don't. I live up here in fucking Minnesota, so if you do a physical job, the cold technically kind of doesn't entirely stop you from sweating, but if you don't move as much, kind of like my life now, you can kind of get away with wearing a white hat in the winter, and it's actually better, so you have a less chance of discoloration. And in the summertime, yeah, you can wear a dark hat, but you just have to also go by the same rule. Don't sweat. Now, if you want to know the best hat to wear that's the least maintenance, outside of just, dark colors like this red here and this blue here, black is actually pretty solid, and they're pretty easy to clean. Most of their stains are going to be just dust or simple stuff that you can see, basic gray marks. Like this blue one had a bunch of gray marks and dust from me working my job, because I have to go in and out of metal warehouses, and I have to, move things with my hands sometimes, and it's just simple warehouse to trucker type crap that can fuck up your hats, like these two. And this one, believe it or not, definitely needs a cleaning, but this one's going to need this stuff instead of the other stuff. So if you're going to buy, cleaner, if you got real fucked up hats, this stuff is going to do you well. And don't expect it to work instantaneously. What you're going to need to do, and I'll actually show you just right here on my bed, because I just cleaned my bed, so I don't really care, is you spray it very lightly, like so. And you kind of let it sit for just a smidge. and then you do start scrubbing, and you mostly just want to hit all the areas that you're supposed to first. So first you go for the stain, and then what you've got to do afterwards, after you get, you know, the stain and stuff, is you got to hit it all around the base. So I'm going to hold it like so and go all the way around the base, and then do the same process again. I'm going to hold the camera just like that, and then you got to go all the way around the base and get that. And remember to hold it right at the underside of the base, like how I got it, so that way you have more accuracy. And then let it dry, kind of let it sit for about maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 if you really kind of accidentally piss pound on your hat, and then kind of just let it do its thing. So right now, yeah, it's gonna look like it's got stains, but as it dries, it'll look better. I guess if I really wanted to make it go faster, I would just put it in like in front of a mini fan, like this one I got on Temu. It's supposed to be like a mini air conditioner, but technically it can work also as a good hat drying fan because the air is not aggressive. You don't want to put aggressive air on your hat. You want to put light fanning on your hat that won't wither away, you know, the cardboard or the cloth. I learned my lesson from this hat down here on what happens when you leave not only your hat in the fucking dryer, but when you put it in the washer. Look at how the bill curled up, and then I still have those ugly stains from the accident that I had it from at the very bottom of the Dallas part. And this was one of my favorite hats, so I was a little pissed that I ruined this one, but it's dead. I can steam clean it, sure, but nothing can really stop that cardboard damage. And also, when you do have special hats, and I'll show you one, stuff that has, you know, these jewels and, you know, special bedazzled little things you get, or even like special bills like this one, you can't use aggressive stuff, and you got to be real careful and use that foam, you know, brush that I was talking about at Lids, because that'll be less aggressive to the graphics and the design, the coloration. And then when you're messing with badging like this, you have to go around it and do like a very careful spray, and then do like what I'm doing with that one, put it in front of the fan, let it dry very gently, and then some. And I'll even tell you kind of just my personal opinion on hats. Like, I'm a snapback dude, so this is where my lane is. And I guess I could tell you the best snapbacks you can get are New Eras. New Eras can last a very long time. This beat up old one is a New Era, so is this Wolves one. This Wolves one's seen better days, and the snapback did break, but that's my fault, not the hats. This one didn't break, and this thing is 12 to 14 years old. Can just hold it out. Now, New Era is the best overall reliability and design of both worlds. But if you want something where design is all you give a shit about with just a decent reliability, Mitchell & Ness is pretty good. I barely ever have any broken ones. There is a broken one right here. This OKC one. Not only is it like it's sun damaged, but it's also the snapback broke too. So is what it is. My favorite one past that would have to be 47s, and I don't hate them, but their snapbacks aren't very strong, and they're really known for these kind of hats, the dad hats. I guess I can show you what a 47 looks like because I got one right here. But their hat qualities are pretty decent for dad hats. Now I wouldn't go for a 47 in these sizes. These flat bill snapback types. No, but these ones, the strapbacks, dad hats, 47 makes great designs, great quality with these. These are where the money is, and they're the cheapest. You don't spend a lot of money on them. Now, when I pointed out this last one right here that had the sun damage, it's very true that if you use your hat too much in the sun, they can get damaged and discolored very easy. That's why you don't leave them in the back of your car with the sun beating down on them. That's why you don't let them sit out in the sun outside while you're going to grab a beer for too long and you get distracted. You don't want to do that. It can be very detrimental. Also, know your material, because those hats right there, they're all cloth with the exception of these two, which are jersey netted. Jersey netted, you can get away with a lot more things because it's just like a jersey, and we all know we can throw our jerseys in the washer. Do not do that with hats, though. That's a failed mistake. Do not do that. And do not put them in the dishwasher either. Too much water on a hat can damage them very badly. I mean, ask this one and ask my Dallas Cowboy one what it was like to be in the washer or the dryer or anything that puts out too much water is just a no. Now I got a few different designs in hats. Like I got this one that's got laces in the front. If I have to clean this one or it gets really damaged, I'd have to take out those laces to clean them out. With this one, this is a thick jersey skin, so I can't clean that with a regular foam brush. I have to use the actual brush and use light strokes. But you can use the foam brush if you don't aggressively attack it. And the biggest one to definitely watch out for is this one here on the bottom, is sway. Sway is, you need to use the proper cleaner for sway, and you can't fuck around with sway. Sway is like a dress hat. So if you buy a lot of sway hats, you either got to be a guy that goes to a lot of weddings and a lot of funerals, a lot of high class events that you still like to wear hats in, because sway is extremely tough to clean. And I just mastered cleaning it, and that'll be a whole tutorial of itself because it's actually really hard. And it's a long ass story, but we're just going to move on. But another thing I can say is, same thing with bucket hats. Bucket hats get cleaned the same way as these hats. But the only difference is, now you get a bucket. Now this is a Miami Heat one that got stained by my cousin-in-law. Or, yeah, my cousin. But I'm not going to say his name. He wore it one time and he forgot that he had shit on his fingers, and he touched the bill right there to adjust his hat. And so now I got this stain. But this stuff right here will get it right out. And that's actually what I probably plan on doing for the weekend, is cleaning these things. Another thing you can use as cleaner, but just base model cleaner, like, you know, for simple stains, simple marks, simple dusting, is this stuff right here, Tough and Stuff multi-purpose cleaner. So unlike the stain stuff, which does a lot stronger and eats into it a little bit more, this one still bites it, but not as hard. And you would actually probably get the same results, but you'd have to use more of this to get the same result with that. So this is another hat cleaner you can use. This is used on cars. You can find this at Advanced Auto Parts or Walmart or even Ace Hardware, and it's a lot cheaper than the shit at Lids. Way cheaper, and in a bigger can. I tested it out not too long ago, and I like the results. It cleaned this hat. It cleaned my twins hat from a couple games ago, and it even cleaned the Raptor hat. So I was like, okay, this shit's actually pretty legit, and I can save a lot of money. Because for the longest time, I used this, and I did like it. But when I realized they keep on charging almost 30, 40, even high 20s for this little bottle, that you also get kind of a brush and the blue rain keeper offer thing. But I'm like, yeah, you know what? I love my hobby, but I don't like selling out for my hobby. So that was a no-go, and I'm glad I found these two things when I worked at Advance Auto Parts, being their freight delivery courier. I don't fuck with them anymore, but you know what? Every place where I left, I at least got something I can use in my own personal life that saves me money and gives me a knowledge and slight advantages over people. So something you should take to heart. Even if you didn't like the place, even if you didn't fuck with the place, get something out of there that you can use to benefit you, and you will be surprised how much somebody you're gonna meet had no clue how to do. Another product you can use, if you don't want to buy the lids water stain thing that comes as a whole kit, like this bottle here, is my mom got me this Schuler Shoes water and stain protector. Now, this is normally used for like dressy stuff, like as you can see in the picture, stockings, shoes, purses. But believe it or not, it works on hats. And it also protects sway. So if you want to make your sway hats last longer, or if you accidentally wear them and you know rain's in the forecast, this stuff will keep your sway alive. And it's a good deflector of light to mid-level stains, and dirt and dust. This is also something I usually would use whenever I'm de-dusting this whole wall of hats. So this stuff is very useful. I don't know if they still sell it or not, but if they don't, find a product exactly like this with the exact ingredients and just spray it on like so. Like, I'll just show you what happens. And then you kind of just let it sit for about a minute, and then you can just walk out and do your thing. But overall, with cleaning, it's not really that hard, fellas. And it's just discipline and just keeping all your prize ball caps alive. Now, I'm a big hat collector. I've been collecting since I was just getting out of high school. Like, I had a small collection when I was in high school and under, but it was all hats that kind of looked like this. Some of them actually are from the childhood, and they were all stuff that my Aunt Barbara and Aunt Ella all picked up, and they always gave me a free hat wherever the hell they traveled, and I just kept it. I didn't really wear them because my mom hated me wearing hats, even though I actually loved them a lot, and I used to always see them on the hip-hop videos, baseball games. I'd see them wear their baseball caps. There was a cool guy that taught me how to work on my bicycle that always wore a Kansas City Royals hat just like this one here, and he always wore a hat. It's like I was always fascinated by him, and it's been a hobby that I'm probably going to keep on doing till the day I die. And it doesn't really matter what kind of hat it is for me. I'll do the little bucket hats, flat bills, duck bills. As long as it's adjustable or fits my head, I'll really wear it. I don't wear fitteds because there is a caveat to them. As you get older, you go through phases, they start to become really hard to wear. And since I grow out my hair in the wintertime as it gets colder, and I tend to not shave as it gets colder, I will need to adjust my hat to my head size changing, versus the summer where I cut it all off twice a month. So that's kind of just how I think of things through hats. But that's my tutorial for now. The next tutorial is going to be restoration, steam cleaning, and that'll either be a next week thing or something in the next month, because there's a lot of stuff going on that I got to deal with, and my hats are kind of just my once a month hobby. And so I'm going to post this on YouTube and Facebook, and peace out.